morning, everybody. My name is Karla, and you've reached my FlossTube channel, KarlaBeingCrafty, where I talk about mostly cross stitch, but also other crafts that I enjoy and a little bit of life thrown in. So today is FlossTube number 231. It is Sunday, March 3rd. Happy March. We got through the first 2 months of the year already, which is just crazy. But yeah, here we are in March. So welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. If this is your first time finding me, I hope that you like what you see, want to hit like and subscribe and all of that good stuff. And if this is not your first time finding me, welcome back. I'm so glad to have you here. I have a super thanks button below if that's something that you are in the mood to do. I also have PayPal. All of my information is listed down below, so you guys know what to do. If you're over enthusiastic about what I'm showing and you want to give a little monetary tip, you know how to do it. Everybody on YouTube and FlossTube has got these attachments, so go ahead. My Southern California weather report. So when I woke up this morning, which I will admit I woke up a little bit late. I got up like at 9 today. Normally I get up at 7:30 on Sunday so I can get up and get out there and do my video. And it's already quarter to 11. So yeah, this one is going up a little bit later than normal. But when I did get up this morning, it was like super bright and sunny, and now it is just overcast and gloomy looking. So I think it's going to kind of be like that for the rest of the week. Yesterday we did have some rain. It was only supposed to rain very lately and kind of off and on. And that was true, except for there was one period of like half an hour where it was just pouring. So, who knows? And then I think we're supposed to get rain again on Wednesday this week. So the temperatures are staying kind of mid-60s, creeping up to the 70s sometimes, but mostly staying mid-60s. And still kind of in the low 50s-ish at night. But it is getting like overall a little bit warmer, you can tell. So yesterday I had a Stitchy Zoom meetup, which was totally fun. There was only 4 of us, but you know what? It was a good 4, and I totally enjoyed chit-chatting with everybody, and time went by so quick. We were on there for almost 3 hours, and then everybody's like, I'm hungry. I gotta go feed my animals. I gotta feed myself. And it was like, oh my God, yeah, we've been here for 3 hours already. So it's always fun when you're chatting and stitching and, time goes by so fast. So that was totally fun. We have another one scheduled for Saturday, March 30th at 3 o'clock Pacific time. So please, if you can, do join us, because it is a fun thing to do. Very, very casual, it's just chit chat and stitching, nothing world shaking or anything, but it is, fun. So I'm assuming because I'm, doing this video late, it's going to upload late. So we'll see. You guys will know as soon as I do, if how long it took to go up. Last week, it wasn't as slow as the week before. It was a little bit slow, but I was so lucky that my video uploaded when it did, because probably about 15 minutes after my video finished uploading, I was sitting there stitching, and all of a sudden, all the power in my apartment went out. Well, that isn't true. All of the power in the main part of my apartment went out. I have a studio apartment, so I have like one big room, which I kind of have divided into 2. So I consider it my living bedroom area and my craft dining area, which is what we're in right here. But there's one like light on the wall that's there. Then I have a kitchen, and I have a little tiny hallway that has, the closet that leads into the bathroom. So all of the power in like what I consider my main area was out. So TV, lights, fan, everything was out in there. But this light I had on because it was Sunday, and I turn this light on when I do my videos. I don't usually keep it on, actually, unless I'm doing something. So like on Saturdays, it's usually not on. But it was on, and it stayed on. My kitchen lights were fine, but my refrigerator was out. And then the bathroom light and the hall light were fine. So of course I'm like freaking out a little bit because it was only half of the apartment was out, and I'm thinking, oh great, you know, did I trip a breaker? You know, I'm immediately worried, like, oh God, I have like too many things plugged in, but I have the normal amount of things plugged in, you know, I mean, I'm not like a power hog or anything. I do have a little breaker box with 4 breakers. I went and flipped those. The only one that made a difference to it was the bathroom hallway. You know, there was one that I flipped, the bathroom hallway went on and off, but it didn't do anything. And so I'm like, okay, well, it was at that point, it was like about 4:30, I think, or maybe 4:15 in the afternoon on a Sunday. So of course there's nobody here to call, but we do have an emergency line. So I called the emergency line, had to leave a message because I was like, I'm assuming that this would be considered an emergency when you have no power all of a sudden. So I called, and then a maintenance guy called me back, and he like didn't understand what I was saying at first, and then he was like, oh, okay. He goes, I'll be out in about 20 minutes. So I'm sitting here, and all of a sudden power went back on, and there was a knock on the door. So obviously he had just gotten there, and I opened the door, and while I'm talking to him, everything went out again. And he said that my neighbor, my next door, actually kind of around the corner, because I'm on like a corner area on the 2nd floor, and my door faces this way. So even though she's like a next door neighbor, her doorway faces the other way, if that makes sense, around the corner. Anyway, apparently she had called in too, and she had the exact same thing where it was only part of her apartment. And I guess one of the laundry rooms, like in another building, I don't know. Anyway, so he's like, it's not a breaker. My boss is going to call the city. So while he was talking to me, he got a call from his boss, and they were like, yeah, they were calling the city, and they would be there, you know, within a certain amount of time, whatever. And, you know, that was basically all that they could do at that point. So, but at least I knew it wasn't me, right? So I sat here. It was very quiet because, you know, I live alone, and I have my TV on pretty much all the time. Even if I'm not paying attention to it, I have it on just as like noise, like background noise. So that is something that I'm used to. I also have my little fan going all the time, which is also white noise. So all of a sudden it was like eerily quiet, and like it was, you know, right in the afternoon when the sun's starting to go down, so it's like that gloomy time. It was kind of weird. And the light stayed out for about 3.5 hours. I did realize it was the building, definitely, because when finally it got dark outside, none of the outside lights on my building were on. So none of the walkway lights, and my building is all studios, which are all on the 2nd floor. And the way that this complex does is studios are all on the 2nd floor over carport. So there's no underneath neighbors, all the cars. So in that parking area, there was no lights out there either. It was like super dark. So obviously there was some kind of power, something wrong with the building. But anyway, the lights finally went on around 8:30, I think. It was about 3.5 hours. And it seemed fine. The next morning, as I was getting ready for work, there was a knock on the door. It was a power guy. And he said that they were working on the power, and they had to like shut off all the electricity of the building, because they were going to be going actually to the pole or the grid or the something. So, you know, and he was letting everybody know, and I'm like, I'm leaving anyway, it's okay. But I asked him about it. I said, you know, it was weird because my whole apartment wasn't out. It was just certain areas. He goes, yeah, there's like 2, I don't know what they call them, 2 leads, 2 somethings that go into the building, and one of them was bad. And they did like a temporary fix the night before, and then they had to do a full-on fix. So that was my little excitement last Sunday night, having sort of a power outage for a somewhat significant amount of time. Just enough to be sort of weird and inconvenient, but not, you know, not really awful. So anyway, but I was really glad that my video had uploaded before that, because otherwise it would have happened during the middle of my uploading. And, you know, dummy me, I was like, you know, my TV went out, and I'm like, oh, that's okay, I'll just pull out my laptop or my Chromebook, because I have one of each, and watch on there. And then, like, duh, it's like my internet's out. So that wasn't a good plan. I could watch on my phone because, you know, it's got its own hotspot or whatever, but yeah. So it was a weird evening. I ended up taking a little nap. Okay. So other than that, the week was just sort of normal. I had to stay home on Thursday because I got noticed that the exterminator was coming out. That happens once a quarter. And because they don't give you a set time, it's like I just take the day off. I use it as a day to straighten out a little bit and just, you know, do whatever. So, you know, when the guy comes, it's actually like, it takes him like a minute, you know, to do what he's doing, because it's just a gel treatment in the kitchen and the bathroom. But you don't know what time they're coming. So, and I'm not one that I want to like wait around and then rush to work. You know, I don't think that was necessary. It was really slow at work last week for me. So, yeah, so I stayed home on Thursday and got a little bit of stuff done around here. So, aside from my whips to show you this week, I did do some crocheting, but nothing exciting like to show you. I just worked on my shrug, and I don't even know if I worked on my sock this week. I don't know. Is it bigger than it was last time I showed it to you? This is how big it is right now. So I don't know. Is that bigger? It goes like halfway up my foot in my arch so far. So just loving that yarn. And then I worked on my shrug a little bit, but other than that, one thing I did do this week, which I thought was kind of fun, so I've talked about starting a new D&D game with my brother, and so I'm sorry for those of you who are not interested in D&D at all. I know there's a couple of you out there that are, because I've gotten a few comments. So, but you guys know, I mean, I have like a, what is it? A hoarder type personality. Obviously I do cross stitch. I want all the things. I do crochet. I want to buy all the yarn. So D&D, I'm holding myself back because I do not want to spend money and stuff. But what for D&D, for me, the hoarder part is I want all the dice. I want all the pretty clickety clackety glitter infused dice. And the dice is one thing that like my brother has never cared about. Like he doesn't care if they're pretty dice or if they match, or you know, if they're old dice from some old Monopoly game. He doesn't care. You know, he has old ratty dice and he could care less about dice. You don't even really need dice to play D&D anymore because everybody has a phone and you can roll dice on your phone. So but no, for me, the dice is part of the experience. So I did have a set and I can't find it. So it's around here somewhere. And I had a set that is in Michigan because I forgot to take it, or they forgot to give it to me or whatever. And then last time my brother was out here, he was supposed to bring it and he forgot them again. So I did buy some dice. I guess that's my haul this week is dice. I bought this set, which are supposed to be like candy infused. I mean, it's not really candy, but it looks like it has sprinkles in it. So those are pretty cool. And then because I wanted multiple dice, but I didn't want to, for me, it's really hard to like choose. And that's why I end up overbuying because I can't pick one. So instead I got like a mystery dice set from an Etsy shop, you know, where you pay less and then get, you know, who knows what you're going to get. So I got some cool ones. I got some boring ones, you know, and I just get these plain white things. I don't really care so much about them. But I did get a couple really cool ones, including a D6, which means a 6-sided die, which is a normal square one, that has a little nookie inside of it. Can you see? So I'm really, you know, I know it's the little things, right? But it's like the dragon-y part of me where I want to sit on top of all of my shiny, pretty things. And so I got this little set of dice. There's one on the floor for Maggie to bat around now. Okay. But another sort of thing that people use is they have, excuse me, they have what is called a dice tray. So there's all kinds. There's like leather ones, there's ones that fold up, and there's, you know, boxes, and then trays, you know, nice wooden trays. I mean, you can spend a lot of money on this stuff. And basically it's to have something to roll your dice in so that they don't fly everywhere off the table and yada yada. And I thought because of my setup that would be a good thing for me to have, but I didn't want to spend money on it. And then I was like thinking, I'm like, I'm supposed to be crafty, I should be able to do something. And I looked around and I have several like unfinished boxes that I bought at some point to do different things with. And like one thing I finished with a counted canvas. One is still unfinished, but it's holding all of my paper, like edge punches and stuff. But then I had this one that was empty, which is the perfect size. And I'm like, okay, that would be a perfect size for a dice box, but I need to do something with it. So I basically decoupaged it using my napkin decoupage technique. So this was an unfinished, you know, wood box. So I used Mod Podge, very, very diluted Mod Podge and paper napkins, and did that. And then I put a little bit of glittery stickle stuff on the top. That way it was dry, just as an accent. And then I lined with pink sticky felt. So now when I'm playing, I mean, obviously this would be on a table, but I can take my die and roll it in there. And then I can keep the other dice right here, you know, waiting. So I made that, which was kind of fun, and I think it turned out pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with it. So I'm all set to start playing the game with my bro tomorrow, which is just gonna be fun too, to hang out with my brother on the phone. So that was my non-stitchy crafty thing that I did this week. Okay, so other than that, stitching. You know, I was so excited last week that I got my first finish, and I was trying so hard to get another finish this week, and I really was. It's pomegranate by Mill Hill, and I got close, but I got to the beading, right? And beading is no joke on a Mill Hill. Like, there's a lot of beading, and beading takes longer than stitching when you think about it. Because if you think about the time it takes to make a stitch, it's like, you know, you pull the thread up, you go down, you pull it up, you go down. That's a stitch. But with beading, you either, if it's a big bead, it's you pull the thread up, you pick up a bead, you pull the thread down. So that's, you know, 3 moves. Or if it's a small bead and you have to do a cross stitch, you pull the thread up, you pick up a bead, you put the thread down, you pull the thread up, you have to feed it through the bead and then go down. So yeah, it takes longer. So I got close. I'm going to finish this today, definitely. I'm going to finish the beading. In fact, I was trying to do it, I was up late last night. That's one of the reasons why I slept in a little bit. Because I was up till like almost 1:30, I think. Because I was just so like bound and determined that I wanted to finish the beading on this. But I finished the green, all the green beading's done. This little bud is done. These 3 are not, so those 3 need their beads. And then I'm just working on the pieces of pomegranate. So I am bound and determined I'm going to get this done this afternoon, so I will have this to show you next week. But I think it's looking really good. And the beads do look like the areoles of a pomegranate, so that's pretty exciting. Okay, other than that, I had 2 new starts this week. Planned starts, so they're things that you guys have been aware of. One of them is, and they're both sort of for the retreat in November. So the first one is my what I'm planning to use as a smalls exchange thing. I don't even know if there is going to be a smalls exchange, to be quite honest, but I figured if there isn't, then I'll give this to somebody or I'll keep it, and if there is, then I'm set and then I don't have to rush. So I've always loved the Haunted Mansion and the stretching room and everything, so I'm making this stretching girl. I got this off of Etsy from Hoop and Fabric is what it says. You know, it doesn't have the name of the shop anywhere on this printout. But honestly, if you go into Etsy and look for like Haunted Mansion stretching room, you'll find it. Or Haunted Mansion stretching room cross stitch, you'll find it. I thought it'd be really cool to do this on really tiny fabric, but I didn't have a scrap of really tiny fabric, so I went ahead and decided to do it on just a scrap of 14 count Aida that was handmade by me. I have actually two pieces, so I can maybe do 2 of them and have a spare to either keep or give. Actually, I don't think that one's gonna be big enough, but anyway, so yeah, since I'm doing it on a blue, I don't have to do the background color. And I just got a tiny start on this. There's no rush in doing this, so I kind of just wanted to get it started. And I still haven't decided, like, you know, what am I going to do to finish it? I don't know. I was thinking, because of working on that wooden box, I did check and I can get maybe a small wooden unfinished box, and then I can do sort of some kind of decoupage thing on it. Oh, and I did another decoupage. This is in preparation for the frogs, but so I could do something like this maybe on a small wooden box. Okay, so that was the one new start, and then the second new start is I started my Tinkerbell Petal Fairy, which is my cool idea in honor of the retreat. So I know a lot of people will have like a retreat start, and so basically something that they start at the retreat. That isn't really what I wanted. What I wanted was something that I'm stitching kind of like in honor of the retreat and in remembrance of the retreat, and something to get me pumped for the retreat. So that's what I'm stitching, and I'm assuming that we're gonna get some kind of chart at the retreat, you know, and the material. So if we do, then maybe I'll start that. I might also bring something, maybe like my Winnie the Pooh with the balloon, because that is also slightly Disney themed, and also it's just very like easy stitching. It's like one color, you know. Once I get the outline of Pooh Bear finished, it's just fill in. So I might bring that in case I don't want to have to think about stuff. But anyway, so I talked about this before. I have this chart. This is the Mirabillia Petal Fairy. Very cute. But I changed all the colors. Well, that's not true. I'm keeping the flower as it is charted, and her skin, I'm not changing the color of her skin, but the rest of the chart, which I've divided, you know, is hair, wings, and dress. Those are all changing. I'm actually adjusting her hair. She has like a big bun at the back of her head. I'm going to move that to the top of her head like Tinkerbell, and then the wings will be in shades of blue, the dress will be in shades of green, and the hair, of course, is going to be very blonde. So yeah, I'm turning her into Tinkerbell Petal Fairy. And this is what I did. I did the flash tops for using Disney, fancy Disney playing cards. Oops. So yeah, and you can kind of see the colors here. So this is dress. Yeah, this is dress area. This is the wings. This is her hair, and then we have, like, you know, the flower is charted. So my idea is not to finish this before the event, but to get a start on it so that maybe people can kind of see what I'm doing. I talked about this last week, and I was like, oh, I hadn't picked a fabric, so I went in my stash, and I had this 28 count Lugana. It's called Pansies, hand dyed by Jim, which I actually think is Silk Weaver. I got this off of Etsy. I don't have a positive opinion about Silk Weaver because I ordered something from them and they charged me and never sent me the thing ever. And in fact, it was like a one-off thing on their site, and it just never came off the thing. Like, they just never fulfilled the order, but they did charge me. And I know that they charged me and that they put me in their system because then I started getting emails from them, like, you know, all of the advertising emails. But, you know, it annoyed me that they never fulfilled the order. But anyway, I didn't know when I ordered this that might be Silk Weaver, but it's okay. It's still pretty, and I still love it. So anyway, it's 28 count Opal Lugana in the colorway Pansies. And I, you know, held it up all different ways to try and figure out what colors I wanted where. So anyway, I started the flower at the top. And I moved my Tinkerbell needle minder. I figured if I'm doing a Tinkerbell, I should have my Tinkerbell needle minder on it. So I just got a little start on that, and you know, I'm gonna work on it through the course of the year. Not trying to get it done or even close to done, just trying to get maybe get the flower part done, because that's sort of not innovative. That's just what's charted, and then maybe work on the Tinkerbell a little bit more when I'm at the retreat. Okay. Then the other things that I stitched on, is that it? Let's see. Yes, there was a Zoom. So I worked on my kind of canvas. And I went around another corner, actually is this corner. Actually I got like that whole like chunk done, so that was pretty good. I've said it before, this is beautiful. I'm going to enjoy it when it's done. For whatever reason, this pattern has not been as enjoyable to stitch as any of my previous pounded canvases. I don't really have a reason why that would be, but I do know that Julie, Stitching at the Cabin, has said that she feels that way too. She's also stitching this, and she also loves counting canvas. In fact, watching her channel, I think, was the first time I saw counting canvas, and that's why I tried one. So, you know, and now we're counting canvas kind of like trade buddies. So like if we buy one and finish it, then we give each other the chart. But we both happen to be stitching this one this year, or last year we started it, and she has the same feeling as me, that for whatever reason this one is more of a slog than any of the other ones have been. The other ones have been totally fun, like hard to put down, and this one is just kind of like, oh, I gotta stitch on it and get some done. So who knows why, but I did work on it. It's my Zoom sort of project, so you know, it will get done eventually, just not as fast as I perhaps thought it would. I thought it would get done last year, and it just didn't. Okay, and the last three that I have are all fairies, pretty much. Well, Zinnia is a pixie, so I guess she's not technically a fairy. She is Zinnia, one of the Mirabillia Bewitching Pixies, but I'm not doing the arch thing because I have her on a background fabric that is taking the place of that. Although I did take the owl from another Bewitching Pixie and put it up on the post up here. I got actually quite a bit done on her, although it's sometimes it's hard to tell when you're not at the face yet, but did quite a bit here. So she's kind of a focus for this month. I'd like to get her done. We'll see. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. My video either stopped. I think maybe I hit something with my fabric. I was talking about this. I pulled it out. I had showed you. Yeah. So anyway, that's very weird. So now I'm going to have to put 2 pieces of video together, which is going to take even longer. Okay. So anyway, that's Zinnia Bewitching Pixie. Okay, and then I worked on the Wind Moon Fairy this week, which is a Dimensions Gold Collection full coverage chart. I have seen some people stitching this and they kind of are not doing the background and they're just putting it on a pretty fabric, but this is my first Dimensions Gold and, you know, kind of wanted to get the whole experience. So this time, this is where I'm at with it, just on the kit fabric, which is super stiff Aida, but you know what, I've been working on this for a while and now it's super soft. So, wait, was I holding it upside down? Do you guys, did I show you? Yeah, I think I was holding it upside down. Okay, sorry. All right, but what did I work on this week? I worked down here. No, I worked down here. I did this whole thing and started bringing all this stuff down. So, you know, nothing kind of exciting, but just working on it. I like working with all the blues and I like Dimensions Gold kits. They're kind of fun. I mean, it's going to take me quite a while to get done with that, but I'm not in any hurry for any of my projects. Well, that's not 100% true. Some of my projects I am in a hurry, but those I work on more. And then last but certainly not least is my Sweet Pea Fairy by Joan Elliott. I have to say I love this chart. I love the way it's coming out. Joan Elliott, for me, when I look through her patterns, I'm either very meh or I love them. It's kind of like there's not, I either really have no desire or I don't like the way one looks, or, you know, I just don't think it's attractive or whatever. I don't like Joan Elliott mermaids for whatever reason. Yeah, I don't like Joan Elliott mermaids, but some of her fairies are just I love them. And this is one of them. Sweet Pea Fairy is gorgeous. And this is on a piece of Hand Dyed by Rolanda fabric, which is also so pretty. The colors in this just gorgeous. And her skin is 2/1 tint, which 100% was the way to go. And I basically just worked on the wing and started like one of the flowers here. But, oh yeah, she's so pretty. So, really enjoying that. Okay, so that was all of my stitching for this week, and I don't have any haul to show you except for my dice, which I showed you already. And yeah, plans, keep on going, keep on stitching on all of the fancy folk, and definitely work on the beading of pomegranate today. Hopefully get that done, get it up in its little frame that I already have, and so I can show it to you next week. That is like the number one plan for this week. I just really want to get that done, and then just keep going on all of my fancy folk. Zinnia, as I said, is kind of a focus for this month. I'd like to get her done. I don't know if that's possible, but I would like to try. She's definitely the only one that's anywhere near that kind of a, a finish, unless I, work on Stretch and Girl. I mean, if I give her dedicated work, she's not going to take very long because she's pretty small, but there's not really a rush on that. But yeah, that's basically it. I have my first D&D game with my brother tomorrow, so I'm very much looking forward to that. I have a doctor's appointment on Tuesday. I'm really stressed about that because it's a brand new doctor. Apparently my GP retired sometime between the beginning of the year and now, and they just randomly assigned me to some dude, which I am not as comfortable going to a male doctor, so I switched over and found a female doctor, actually at a facility that's closer to me anyway. But so I have to go and see a new doctor for the first time Tuesday. So stressed about that, but got to do it. And then yeah, just stitching and relaxing and going to work and doing all my normal stuff. Baggy was here earlier today before I started the videos, meowing away, but I guess as soon as he started, he's probably on my spot on my bed, because that's what he does as soon as I get up. He jumps on my spot and stretches out. He has his own spot on the bed. He has a whole big body pillow that's his, and he sleeps there every night and is perfectly comfortable. But as soon as I'm up and doing a video, he wants to be where I normally go. But yeah, until I see you guys again, I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you get a lot of stitching and relaxing and all the good stuff in. And I look forward to hearing your comments and watching your videos if you do videos. So yeah, until I see you guys again, please remember to be content, be kind, and be crafty. This is Karla. Bye-bye.